Hello everybody and welcome to another Stella Sora video. In this video I will be going over a tier list, basically updating the old pre-launch tier list that we had. Now I will explain this tier list a bit first, that Terra was really powerful in the beta. That's why each Terra unit is up there. It was a new element that was added a bit late, so that's why this tier list was sitting like this. But some quick adjustments will be made to this tier list to make it look better, and I will be adding Chitose and Shia because those are the units that were not there in the beta. Caramel was also not there in the Chinese tier list. I don't know why, but I have added her as you see down there. So for more content like this, leave a like and subscribe, and if you are on mobile, please hit that hype button. So to start things off, right, we shall be dropping basically the 4 stars a bit down. I don't think that's the tier they're gonna sit in, but we shall be dropping them just a bit. So every 4-star you see, we will be dropping them, because although they might be good, right, they aren't so good that they'd see themselves in tier 0s and tier 1s. Now that we are here, we will be dropping everyone I believe does not belong in tier 0. I believe Gary, although I like her, although I'm biased, does not belong in tier 0. Neither does Nazuna. Gary and Nazuna do not belong in tier 0 because although Gary was really powerful in the beta, she now has competition that I'd say is way better than her in the way of the limited units that we have in the game. Now I shall be dropping units that I don't believe should be in tier 1. Now this one's gonna be a bit of a problem for many people, but as things stand, right? Oh, I forgot to drop Cosette. As things stand, I believe that the only units, right, that should be at tier 0 are as follows. So we shall be dropping Nazuna, we shall be dropping Chixia, we shall be dropping Mystique, and we shall be dropping Minova. The 2 units you see on your screen are the only 2 units I believe should be in tier 1. They are the 2 damage dealers that deal the most damage, the most AoE damage in the current game of the standard units. They have 2 teams that are really good. Nanoa having Anne and Canis if you want to. If you love the Noya, maybe go for the Noya. But they have good teams to work with them. With Gary having Reg and basically Nazuna. Gary having a 5-star sort of field team. But to make things further, we shall be dropping everyone that I believe does not find a place in T2. So, and taking people up from tier 3 that I believe should be in T2. To start things off, the 5 stars in this game are really useful. So Frisia will be staying. Frisia being a really good teammate for, Chitose. Teresa is a really good shielder. She has a really good shield and she deals decent damage. So I could hear the debate for pumping her up there. Canis will have to drop for me personally, and Jingling will have to drop. Because I believe, I'll explain the Jingling. I believe that although Jingling is good, Minova is the better teammate. So Minova really will be pushing up. She is the better teammate in the Shia team. Now Nazuna has really good heals, really great survivability, so she is really useful and a really good boost for Gary. Chixia carries the fire team, although Amber, where is she? Although Amber does carry that team as the main driver, she is good, but she isn't good enough that she would find herself sitting in the same tier as these 5 stars up here. They are 4 stars, they have limited, stats built into them, so they do find themselves being pushed down a bit. Another one that I want to bring up is basically Caramel. Caramel for me will sit right here. The reason I'm putting Caramel there is because she plays the same role as Amber, being the driver for the Umbra team. So although she's not as good as Mystique, because Mystique is a versatile unit and all that, but she's the better driver for the team as opposed to a Mystique. Mystique will be a versatile unit that will stay as a damage support, and Caramel will drive that team. Another unit I want to bring up a bit is Teresa. Teresa is a good support. I've already spoken about her, but now I'm just moving her position. You could even put her right around there. She's probably one of the most useful supports we have in terms of 4 stars, minus Reg. But yes, Teresa deserves a bump up to that position in the T3. Now, to further move a person up, I believe that this unit is severely slept on, but Anne is really good as a universal support. I spent some time without the jingling, for the team, for the light team, for the Shia team, and I used Anne. And that team was pushing in damage. I had a very nice shield, I had damage boost the attack, but when you are building Anne, just be careful not to choose any of the buffs that are basically specific to Ventus type units, because her ascensions do have cards that are specific to Ventus type. But if you build her in such a way that your ascension cards are basically the ones that boost attack, that give a shield and reduce the enemy's attack, I think she has one like that, then you are safe with the barriers and everything. She has immense defensive capabilities, really immense defensive capabilities. For the attackers, right? The attackers will not find as much love because they do not come close to the 5-star attackers. It is just light and day, so they will find themselves a bit low in the consideration. I do not mean they are the last things you should consider, but I'm just dropping them to show that they do not find as much love. Now, Casemira. Casemira is a versatile unit. She does deal quite good damage, but in the fire team, she does fall behind when there is Flora and Amber, because Flora, being a support, deals really great damage, and Casemira, there is nothing she does that Shia doesn't do better in terms of damage. So Shia will win in that team. That then brings Casemira down. She's only this low because she is not the best in any role. Like, she's a versatile unit, she's not the best. If you're going to use her as that support there, she's not the best. We have better units for that, like Shia and Amber. So she falls behind. She's not part of the team. So that is really unfortunate. The same can be said for Shimiao. Shimiao does not find a place in the ice team. She struggles to find herself a slot in the ice team because we have Teresa with the shields, and then we have Iris with the buffs, which brings us to the next topic. Iris, I will be putting her there. She's not the best thing out there, but she's the best support you can have in this game for ice right now, because Shimiao, yeah, but then Iris is behind the Teresa, because the Teresa offers shields. So there's nothing that Iris does that Frisia doesn't do better, in the sense that Frisia brings the damage while Iris brings the support and the attack buffs, but the Frisia does prove sometimes to be the better attacker. But Iris also proves to be the better supporter. She at least has a different role than the Frisia, being that she can provide the supportive buffs. Now, I spoke a bit about her, but Reg is the only 4-star for the Terra team, so she's the only unit we can use, but she has a really, really strong defense down. She has a really, really strong defense down that actually really helps the team. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how the next support for Terra will be looking, because if that new support does not have the defense down, we might find that Reg will still lead to the team dealing better damage than it would have done if she was not there. So that is something that we really, really have to consider with Reg, that although she has the attack up, right, she then also has the defense down that can really, really boost the damage of the team. So we move from that, and then I want to go to Tilia. Tilia is basically the support, right? She is the best support for the light team. Tilia is the best support for the light team, and she is who you're gonna end up running, as opposed to, say for an example, a Laru. She is who you're gonna end up running, because Laru is a vanguard, and she does not basically match up to the units we have up there. So that's why we will find Tilia sitting there. And then who else do I want to go for? Cosette. Cosette, she has really great buffs for the team that leads the team. Like we all know that Cosette is a support. Like supports have more value right now than the versatiles because the versatile units slots are taken. Like Mystique takes that slots, no doubt. So that is where units who aren't exactly, what's the word I'm looking for? Who aren't exactly supportive type units actually fall behind. They fall behind because, well, I'm talking about Coronis, by the way. Coronis falls behind because she does not fit into the team. Because we have Caramel as the driver, Mystique as the versatile, and then Cosette as the best support of the team. Because Coronis is a versatile unit and does not deal quite as much damage as, say, a Mystique, she will fall behind like that, whereas Cosette will push up. Now, I will put a disclaimer that I don't have much experience with the Umbra team, but I do know the best team with a lot of testing and basically the database that I had plugged in my comments the last time, the Japanese database about the best teams. And Coronis does not find a place there. Now, Canis does find a place, and Jingling does sort of find a Canis. Canis does find a place in the the grass team, but she'll sit right there. She's fine. She does find a place in the grass team. She really does do well. Jingling also doing well if you don't have the Minova. Like you see the trend. Casamira doing well if you don't have the Shia. Shimiao doing well if you don't have the Teresa maybe. But yes, you see the point that I'm trying to get to, that these last units here, they all have a replacement. They all have a unit that is actually better than them, so they do not fall into the team. Whereas units such as Canis and Anne have their replacement units and teams. So that is why I would ask you not to judge me when I bring them down like this. It is not because they are not good or anything, right? They are good, they work really, really well, but they do not find a spot in the team. I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for that and a lot of hate. They're not bad. In fact, they would be T3 if they didn't already have replacements, so they don't find a spot. They really don't find a spot, especially Noya. Like, Noya's way outclassed because there is no universe where you use Noya as opposed to a Nanoha. It just doesn't exist. With Laro the same being replaced now by the Lux damage dealer, there is no universe where you use Laro as opposed to a Shia. So my T0 units are sitting right there, and I don't think many people will be arguing with these two. These are the top 2 best units in the game, and it's kind of poetic. They are also the only 2 that are limited, so we already see the power scaling of the limited units. The 2 limited units are really, really strong, and if you can get them, I would advise to, because the Shia really does really great AoE damage whilst having also a Snow Rabbit build that also deals quite the amount of damage. And then Chitose having the dash build, which is very good for manual play, whilst you can use the skill build for autoplay because we all know the AI never dodges anything. So Shia having a single target build and an AoE build, and I'm a fan of the AoE build. We don't have a damage bot to test which one's better, but I believe against single target build will win. The Snow Rabbit build will win, and then the Night Rabbit will win in AoE situations. So that is the updated tier list. I know you might be a fan of Casamira, but she doesn't find a place in the fire team unless another unit isn't there. At least the T3 units will get into the team. Just like the T2 units are core members of the team if you have them. The T1s are really good damage dealers that probably will be replaced when basically more limited unit comes. But for now, those 2 are the best standard banner damage dealers, and they really deal quite great damage. And that is it for this video. So I will be keeping this tier list updated as time goes on, but I will be updating it from this screen right now, which is why the basically images are created. So for more content like this, leave a like and subscribe. And if you are on mobile and you see the hype button, please press on that for me. It really does help the channel. Until the next one, cheers.